My dad is trying to force me to take my bratty stepsister on vacation with me, and he thinks I'm bluffing that I'm never going to speak to him again, so bye-bye dad. I, 17F, am graduating, and my friends and I have already planned a trip to a cabin for the summer before we start college. I have been babysitting since I was 13, so I have saved up a considerable amount of money. When I was 15, my dad remarried about a year and a half after my mom passed away. My dad's wife had a 13-year-old daughter, and as soon as we moved in together, they started pushing her off on me and forcing us to do everything together. I don't like my stepsister. She's always throwing tantrums if she doesn't get what she wants. She's spoiled to the point that, at my 16th birthday, she got her own special cake so she wouldn't feel left out. She also blew out the candles on my cake, and when I complained, my dad told me, "It's time to grow up. Being a sister is about sharing things." I told him I didn't have a sister, and I guess she overheard because she went on a rampage. The party was ruined. I distanced myself from them more after that. I'm forced to either take her with me to places or stay home with her if I can't take her, or if my dad or his wife can't watch her or don't want to deal with her. Imagine everything I said she does with my dad and his wife, but directed at a 15-17-year-old me. I was forced to take her bowling with me, and she wouldn't stop trying to dig her hands into the part where the balls come out, and she even tried running down the lane. I had to take her home, and my night was ruined. This happens a lot, but they don't care. I tried to keep this trip a secret from her, but when I was in my room on the phone talking about it over pizza and music, I found out she had snuck in, hid in the closet, and was eavesdropping. She burst out asking if she could come, and I told her no and to get out. She started stomping her feet and ran out. My friends begged me not to invite her. My dad called me downstairs and asked if she could go because she could use a vacation, and I told him I'm not taking her. They can take her on a vacation, but I'm not watching her for almost 3 weeks alone. My dad's wife called me selfish and said that since my dad was paying for a portion of the trip, if Lily doesn't go, then I don't get to go. I told her she doesn't get a say in any of this, she's not my mom, and to stop forcing her child on me when she's the one who created what Lily is. Lily started yelling at me about not being a good big sister and not wanting to spend time with her. I snapped and told her I don't. She ran away crying, and my dad said he won't pay for the rest of my trip if I don't take her. So I told him that if he does that, I will not be talking to him anymore, nor will I forgive him for it. He said I was being dramatic and that she isn't that bad. So, I grabbed a bag and went to my aunt's house, my mom's sister, and told her what happened. She said she would cover what he took away, and when I go to college, I can stay with her. I told my dad what I was doing, and he blew up at me, saying I was being a brat and that they're my family now, not my aunt. As far as I know, she doesn't have any disabilities. She's been to doctors and therapy. She's just insanely spoiled, and that's how she's always gotten her way when told no. The first time I met her, everyone agreed on Mexican except her, and she was yelling in the car for 10 minutes before she calmed down after her mom appeased her. Then she went back to texting on her phone. If she does have a disability, that would explain why she acts that way, and I can accept that she can't help it, but I still shouldn't be forced to watch her 24/7. Update 6 months later. I know a lot of people wanted an update to my last post. I can't post a link, but you can go to my profile to see it. The trip happened, and I did not end up taking her, just like I said I wouldn't. From the time I posted that until I left, the household was very tense and awkward. I wasn't speaking to any of them. The only person I had to confide in was my aunt, and I'm so grateful for her. My dad still thought I was going to bring her on the trip, and I kept telling him that I wasn't watching her and she wasn't coming with me. The morning of the trip, we left at around 6, and by the time he called me, I was already about 5 hours away, so he couldn't do anything. When I got back, there was a lot of yelling and crying from me, my dad, and his wife. She said I left them in a tough position and they had to stay home because they couldn't find anyone to watch Lily. My dad and I had a serious talk for hours, and he agreed that maybe we need to separate to work on our relationship, which hurt me because I would have liked him to say I could stay in my own home while we worked on it. But I ended up going to my aunt's house with no issues. My dad and I started family therapy, just the two of us. His wife was pretty upset that he was actually listening to me and seeing where I was coming from. Just when we were making progress and building a better relationship, I came over for dinner, and my dad asked if we could integrate his wife and Lily into therapy. I told him I had no interest in having a relationship with them. She called me a selfish CNT and said I needed to be grateful that she let me stay with them after she moved in. I waited for my dad to correct her, but he stayed silent, so I left and haven't talked to him in almost a month. He keeps showing me that he won't be on my side. To wrap things up, the cabin trip was so much fun. I've never felt so free from a burden. The trip was in June, and we ended up staying for almost a month because we extended it. While I was packing for school, my dad came to visit, but his wife called, and he had to lie about where he was because she doesn't want him to see me. So I told him we don't need to have contact right now or continue therapy since it's clear which part of his family he cares about more. I don't know what's going to happen with my dad, and right now, I don't care. I'm focused on school and studying to become a nurse. I don't want any negativity to ruin this experience, but I'd be lying if I said it doesn't hurt not to have a parent to share this with. My aunt says she's my surrogate mom and that I can share all my worries and successes with her. I am currently in my first week of college, and the amount of freedom I feel here is so new. I'm a little overwhelmed, but I've joined an honors club and a creative writing/book club, and the friends I've made are amazing. I'm living on campus, and I've never been better mentally. I'm also in separate therapy to deal with my mom's death since my dad never offered that to me. My aunt has truly become a mother figure to me. Being 2 states away from her is really hard, but I can't wait for weekend and holiday visits. Also, I'm going to be a godmother. My aunt, who was told at 22 that she'd never be able to have kids, is currently 4 months pregnant, and I'm so excited. If anyone is going to be a great mother, it's definitely her. When she came to visit and told me, I think she noticed I was a little worried. I told her I'm so excited and happy for her, and nothing will change that, but she's the only family I have right now, and I don't want to feel left behind like I did at home. We both cried, and she promised me she's filling in for my mom and will be there for the rest of my life, whether I like it or not. I'm planning the baby shower, and I can't wait for the baby to arrive. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all for checking up on me and offering your encouraging words.